There are some drink recipes that are secrets and some that are not. Usually they're either a secret or not a secret due to the intention of the drink's creator. Mariano Licudine at the Mai Kai took on some of the character or aura of the Don the Beachcomber's secrecy by having a large menu with complex and secret recipes. The Derby Daiquiri was not one of those secret recipes. Back when I did my first video on a famous Mai Kai cocktail, I came across only a couple of references to the Moon-Kissed Coconut. I think only 2 that had included the published recipe, but searching for that cocktail resulted in finding dozens and dozens and dozens of articles and newspaper clippings on the Derby Daiquiri. The Derby Daiquiri was created by the Mai Kai's Mariano Licudine for the Order of the Royal Rums cocktail competition in 1958. It went on to win the competition amongst 70 total cocktails and became the official drink of the Florida Derby. Now, while I find this personally hard to believe, the Fort Lauderdale News-Sun stated that each year at the Gulfstream Park's Florida Derby, over 1 million Derby daiquiris are served. And the drink is pretty simple. Don Q white rum, orange juice, lime juice, and sugar. It's a daiquiri with the addition of orange juice being as it's from and represents Florida. That orange juice is adding sweetness and volume to an otherwise perfect cocktail, a traditional daiquiri. That means less acidity, less impact of the spirit, and it results in a less balanced drink. So instead of making the traditional Derby Daiquiri, we'll make the tropical standard Derby Daiquiri. In addition to this variation of the Derby Daiquiri, the Tropical Standard book also offers a concise history of the original drink and how it came to be. For this Derby Daiquiri, you'll need saline solution, Bitterman's orange cream citrate bitters, strained lime juice, orange syrup, and Don Q Gold rum in a huge bottle if you got one. The Bitterman's orange cream citrate is an unusual bitter, and they don't even refer to it as a bitter. Now, if you taste it on its own, it is bitter, but compared to other bitters, it's not. It's based on an old orange cream soda fountain recipe, and instead of using phosphoric acid, it uses citric acid. It's unusual to say the very least, and hard to really understand what you're tasting by just tasting a drop. It's too overpowering and intense, but I added some of this to soda water and some simple syrup recently, and it creates a very unique, non-alcoholic adult-style cream soda. It doesn't have that super brightness of fresh orange, but intense orange peel flavors, vanilla and cream all come through, and it does completely change a drink, so there's no substitute for this. The orange syrup is something that we'll need and is pretty simple to do. You just need a blender. Into a blender, add 250 grams of strained orange juice. Set the blender to a low speed and then add in 190 grams of sugar. Finally, add in 1 gram of citric acid. It's a simple orange syrup and it's great. And the book also has a lot of pretty simple syrups in there, including the cream syrup that are delicious. So now let's build the Derby Daiquiri. We're gonna build this in a small shaker tin with 5 drops of saline solution, 6 drops of Bitterman's orange cream citrate, half an ounce of strained lime juice, 3/4 ounces of orange juice syrup, it's 2 ounces of Don Q Gold. All right, so let's try the Derby Daiquiri from Tropical Standard. It's very bright. It gets that acidity from the lime juice, and then our orange cream syrup does have a little bit more acidity than if we just use straight orange juice. You're eliminating some of the dilution here by using that orange syrup instead of orange juice and a simple syrup, but you get these unique, bitter, creamy tones from the Bitterman's orange cream citrate that make this a unique take on the Derby Daiquiri. I have made this one time before, but it did taste completely different. First time I made it, I used this Crucian single barrel. I didn't have any gold rums when I made this several weeks ago. And actually, for me, finding Don Q Gold was difficult. That's why I have this, 1 week supply here. This one does taste much different than when I made it with the Crucian. So if you're using something that's more aged like Bacardi 8, I think it's going to taste a little different. You're going to get more of those like vanilla notes, the oaky notes. I prefer this one with the Don Q Gold because it leans more into a traditional daiquiri. It's lighter, it's brighter, it's more crisp, and that's what I like in daiquiris. And it is very unusual. It tastes like orange, but it's an intense orange flavor that you don't typically get from cocktails that just add orange juice to them. So it does make something that is new and different, yet in its truest form, it is still a Derby Daiquiri. So there you go. It's really the best version of the Derby Daiquiri. And if you have all these ingredients and the Bittermans, because that's the hard one to find, but if you have everything else, you can easily make this and put it up against the traditional Derby Daiquiri. I will leave the recipe for this as well as the traditional Mai Kai Derby Daiquiri in this episode's description. Drink is empty. What more do I need to say? If you enjoyed this video, give it a like below. Consider subscribing to the channel. You can check out the links below to find the Tropical Standard book, as well as all the other books that I use here often. The glassware I use on the show, except for this one. This is vintage. I believe this is my wife's grandmother's coupe glass from a long time ago. Glassware, books, bar tools, they're all in the Amazon storefront. If you want to support the channel as well, I have glassware, coasters, and even for a limited time, these pins right here, these custom enamel pins. So check those out, and otherwise I will see you on the next one.